Hello, guys. Okay, so we have played with intention, we have relaxed the body, we've used intention to relax the body. Now we're going to go into the real Akandawa stuff. How do we do different varieties? First of all, what are the varieties? How are they? Um, what of the varieties? There are 9 in my conceptual model of the Akadua. I was taught that there were 7 varieties plus 1. Um, this fits into a lot of things. A lot of people think that there are 7 chakras without really knowing that it was always 6 plus 1, meaning the crown chakra is not actually a chakra. It is just a open thing, outside to the universe. It's not like the regular pooling form of energy chakra wheel that most people are used to. And yet now it's just included in there. Okay, so there are 7 chakras. When I was taught the varieties of the Akadawa, there were 7 plus 1. And so it was like, well, why is that a thing? No, it's supposed to be a sub variety. So are there really 8 to begin with? Who cares? Like, the only thing that I want to guard against is the tendency that a lot of energetic practitioners have to channel their own specific type of energy within the Akandua, because the Akandua is an exceptional vehicle for imitating other types of energy. When you get to a certain level, you will be able to channel Diksha and really high level spiritual energies and different things through the Akandua as though you had been initiated into those systems. Um, and so what I want to guard against is our tendency to be using the Akadwa and feeling it, and then I may just an inclination of my mind think of Lord Krishna, and then this energy starts flooding into my field through the Akadwa layers that I've been working with, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the most powerful thing ever. Obviously, it's a new form of Akadwa. It's Krishna Akadwa. And then I label it and brand it, and I'm using that, and it's everything, and it becomes a thing. That's what I want to guard against, because as a system, it's really way more than enough to have 7 varieties. It's way more than enough to have 8 plus 1. It's way more than enough to have 9 plus 1, which is the way I do it, which is 10. um, to go through them, and there is a chakra model, as in a chakra correspondence. Please do not associate also the chakras specifically with the Akadwa varieties. The Akadwa variety does not come from the chakra. You can put any variety in any chakra. You can mix them in any chakra. A chakra is a certain lens in the energetic slash biomatrix of the body, and the Akandawa can be expressed through any of those lenses, alright? But when we're talking about a model of spiritual evolution and healing, there are correspondences. The way that I take care of the odd numbery system-y thing, because I don't like numbers, especially when they don't match up, is this. So, a lot of New Agers will postulate that there are more chakras than the 7 body chakras. And again, even the 7th one is not really a chakra, according to some people. Words, words, words. Definitions, etc. I have always worked with a 9 chakra system. So the regular 7 that you already know, plus what I would call a yang gate. So I'm calling it this thing. It is a concept. It's more Taoist than using it the chakra model. So the gate is just this junction point where energy passes through. And up there, I find this heavenly, quote-unquote, energy, cosmic energy, very pure, yang, bright spirit energy. Down below the root chakra, I find what I call the yin gate. These are my own terms, although I have heard them loosely applied to this. And that's where I find the energy of the void, the perfect, the black hole, which is dissolution, which is the divine feminine, the darkness, the void, all of that wonderful, nurturing, beautiful stuff. And then, of course, the 7 chakras in between. So that makes 9. Are they really chakras? It's debatable. They're worked with today now in an obvious manner. I think that we're different. I think that it wasn't as easy to work with these ones in particular, being the yang and the yin, the really ultimate pole, the ends of our being, as it were, even though at those ends, these energies are really dissipating or becoming something else at that point. It's way more spiritual and beyond the physical body than we're used to dealing with the regular 7 chakras. I think that we're different now. I think that it's much easier to work with that stuff. People will have very obvious experiences of what I call the yin gate, New Agers call the Earth Star chakra, and the one above it, which I call the Yang gate, New Agers call the Soul Star chakra. So this relates to heaven and or your highest aspect of being. This relates to earth. In the Taoist conception, at least, it's earth being the opposite of heaven. You could think, I wouldn't say hell, it's too dark, it's not like that. So earth, in these earthly realms, the yin, pure yin, and all that stuff which connects us to physical existence and so on. Yeah, so that's the way I got past it. When I did this conception, or when I had this idea, I started working with an Akadowa that was very in line, an Akadowa variety, which I think is a pure variety. It comes from the Akadowa itself. It's something that I added, but it resonates to the void, and I call it void. And then one up here that resonates to the Soul Star chakra, which I call lapis, which is very much in line with the mineral and stone aspect of alchemical aspect of the Akadowa in general. So, starting from the bottom, we have the void, which is the Earth Star or Yin Gate area. You even have to call it a chakra. And that encompasses the feet and the toes and the legs and the ankles and the knees and all of that stuff. That is that lower stuff. Then when we get to the area of the root chakra, we have obsidian. Now starts the metal or mineral, earthy, weird metaphors for the types of Akadowa. Are they specifically obsidian energy? No. It's a type of energy that feels very much like the energy of obsidian, and so it was named like that. Alright? I want to be clear on that. We're not dealing with the energy of the volcano necessarily when we're dealing with volcanic Akadowa. Okay? It's just a term. It's just a name, a label, a brand. So, root chakra, obsidian. Second chakra, or womb chakra, genital chakra, all that stuff, lunar. Solar plexus is volcanic. Heart is solar. Throat is oceanic. The third eye or brow chakra is related to atmospheric. And the crown is related to the unnamed. I would also, recently I've been thinking about it, I would call the unnamed, since some people, it was left that way, because that very much is the experience of that area, and that is the experience of that particular variety of the Akadowa. It feels cosmic, and what is cosmic is so grand and expansive that it really can't be named. It can't be termed. It can't be defined. And so that's why I think Coyote left it sort of open. I'm going to call it the unnamed. You could also call it cosmic or something like that, I think. Okay, so, oh, and then the soul star up here is lapis variety. So those are different. Those are two. The void and the lapis. Those are the ones that I started having really strong experiences with myself. And so to me, it was important to bring that into my own Akadawa work. You won't find it if you go and study with the other guys. Some people might have picked it up from me or whatever. It's not like, ooh, I'm so special. I only got, I told everybody, I'm like, try it. Like, try it and tell me what you think. Didn't get any responses, whatever. But most of the time, most people who resonate with my work, they're like, "Oh my God, I completely felt the lapis like immediately. Wow, what a great, powerful energy, you know." So I work with those. That's my 9 chakra model. The 10th one would be the sub variety, which was already within the 7/8 or 7/ plus a sub variety, which is Jaguar, or the energy of the eclipse. So it's just sort of in between the alchemical energy. I don't know why it was called Jaguar, other than when I would do it, it sort of feels very like, I don't know. It's difficult to describe, but we'll work with all of them. Okay. So now we have a base from which to work with the different varieties. I recommend that you try this. I still, to this day, when I'm thinking of a certain variety and I want to activate it, I still go, oh, atmospheric right here. Your intention is really all that matters, of course. If I want to activate atmospheric in my left little toe, then I can do that. I'm doing it right now. But the intention is all that really matters, okay? So you want to activate it in your little toe, you want to activate it in any chakra, that's fine. But the real point, I think, is just that you need some type of base to go off of, and to have a physical feeling, physical location helps. So when I usually think atmospheric, I'm like, oh, I go into my third eye and I start intending to have atmospheric Akadawa start flowing out of me. You make those associations, much like the relaxation exercises and everything that we did, you start to get trained a certain way, and then it just becomes easier. Okay, so this is a way to train yourself with the varieties. From the very, 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 very beginning, starting out doing work with the Akadawa, you might go, oh, how do I activate obsidian? How do I activate obsidian versus atmospheric? Again, just by intention. So we'll have our relaxation session. Remove the mask. Get into that place. Good breathing. Low and slow. All that good stuff. Now I'm just going to start at the beginning. Let's do our power mudra. Maybe just intend that the Akadawa activates wherever and however it wants to. You don't have to place it anywhere. Just feel your body. You should be nice and relaxed. And then when you activate the Akadawa and you're nice and relaxed, you'll start to feel more sensations than you would have before. So you can continually scan your body, feeling for different things, and if you feel a certain sensation in a specific place, then stay with it. I'm feeling energy in my crown right now, so I'm going to stay on the top of my crown. And just intend that the Akadawa is activating in you. Now I'm going to get specific. So you can do this with whatever variety you haven't been able to sense yet, or you think you might not have activated or whatever. Go to that specific place. So I'm just going to stay in the crown since I was up there. Let's say I've been having trouble with unnamed, and so I'm going to go to the crown. I'm going to feel the crown. Then I'm going to intend that in my crown chakra, the whole thing, I'm activating the unnamed variety of the Akadawa. And just stay with that intention. Stay with sensing it, stay with feeling how it felt before. Feel those sensations. And stay with your intention. Activating unnamed. Activating unnamed. Activating unnamed. You don't have to hold a mudra if you don't want to. I find them helpful. Top of the skull, activating unnamed. Pay attention. Now I want you to keep your eyes open. And just allow them to be diffuse. Try to notice how everything around you looks different. Stay with the intention of activating the energy. Everything that you see before you can be a cue for you to continue to activate your intention. You just have to decide in your own mind that everything you see is actually reinforcing your intention. As I'm looking here, I am seeing my little camera, and I can convince myself that just by looking at that camera, the Akadawa is activating stronger and stronger and stronger. Now I'm moving my eyes away, I'm allowing my gaze to melt into everything around me. I'm staying with my intention to activate the unnamed energy. But as I'm looking around, everything that I see, I've decided, I've already intended that is another reinforcement of activating the energy. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a feedback loop visually. Whatever I see, that means activate the unnamed in the crown chakra. And then that's when we start to get into really trancy work. You'll have an experience when you look over at your lampshade and you're like, oh my god, it really does mean I'm activating the unnamed variety in my crown chakra right now. And then that tends to feed back with other things. It's because it is a feedback loop. When you pay attention to something, you give it energy, but you also set up the path to get energy. Now, when it's just a regular object, it might not have that much interesting energy to give me. When I connect to it with the Akadawa, it becomes alive. It becomes sentient in a way. It becomes conscious, a little more conscious than it was before, especially if it's an inanimate object. And then when you have that thing imbued around, you could think of it imbuing its soul, its consciousness with the Akadawa, and then somehow, making that bridge with your intention, sensing, intention, and the Akadawa is in there as well. Then you get this actual feedback loop with the Akadawa and the actual spirit of the thing. Doing it with my little camera right here, I don't know what kind of energy I'm going to get. I would recommend that you do it with a really nice crystal or something like that. Something that is energetically positive, or a large piece of orgonite, something like that. And you go right here, okay, so staying with relaxation, staying with concentration, or our intention being the only thing, everything else falls away. Continuing work with the varieties. You can work this way. We'll just do a different one, I guess, just as another example. So I'm going to go into my solar plexus. Let's say I haven't had a real experience of volcanic. I'm going to go right there in the middle of my solar plexus. Where is it? Right there. And I'm going to locate, and I'm going to feel, sense, not on the edge, although that can be a point to start. You really want to be all the way in here, inside of yourself. When you're doing a dantian or a chakra, you want to go really as deeply inside as you can. That will be the center of a chakra, you know. And you want to get to that center point, because at the center point, energy can go both directions and it's unbiased. Remember that chakras go out the back of you too, you know. And so it's just as important to acknowledge that energy flow, or whatever it is. So I'm relaxed, doing breathing. I've got it that whatever I feel is going to be a feedback loop, a reinforced awareness, that it just kind of like cascades upon itself. I am becoming aware of the Akadawa. As I become aware of the Akadawa in this particular space or chakra, the Akadawa activates more. As it activates more, I feel more and I become more aware, and it just keeps going and going and going. It compounds, you know. And then eventually you'll have this experience where you're like, oh, okay, I think I'm floating off into space now. That's when you start to really break through to different like trancey levels. So I'm going to go and I'm going to feel the internal environment, solar plexus, all the way in there. For you Taoists, you can call it the yellow coat. And I'm going to think about the things and activate volcanic intention, activating volcanic Akadawa in the solar plexus. Now feel that area. Stay with the intention, but continue to sense. Because once you have the intention and the energy starts to flow and starts to build, then you want to sense what is actually there. To sense the energy that you're feeling. Then it reinforces. You feel, oh yeah, I do feel that. Okay, then it reinforces. All right, I'm in that space. I am activating this energy, Now feel the energy that you're activating, okay? And you do this in every single area, and I recommend that everyone do it, even if you feel comfortable with every single variety already. Match the varieties up with the chakras and activate each of them in those chakras, respectively. This can be a 2-hour long video just working with those chakras, and this can be almost, I want to say it could be the whole of your practice. Once you learn to concentrate on that, this is your intention, this is me locating my body, this is me sensing within my body, this is me activating a specific energy in that space, then once I feel that energy, I am sensing that energy, it feeds back into me, and then I have a real experience. Either just dealing with an energy, when you do this enough, obviously, you will start to have different things in your chakras and your different systems, even organs, your body, your tissues, everything, release old negative crap that you don't need anymore. Okay, this is how we do cellular cleansing. This is how we do spiritual cleansing, right? It all comes back down to intention and your ability to just let everything else fall away. It's not so, I'm intending, and it's not so much, whatever. It's just some weird thing between the two where you're like, I am allowing myself to intend. I'm not crunching down on it. I'm not clinging to the idea. I'm allowing energy to flow around it. But my consciousness is bright enough and aware enough to continue to intend on a regular basis with whatever I'm doing. Okay, that's the basis of all of it. So just going through the varieties, this is the way I recommend that you learn to deal with the different varieties. I think that it's enough. The chakra model is great. I have lots of experiences in between. The next one that I want to do is going to be actually some real alchemy. And this is going to be the alchemy of the sun and the moon, which can be a metaphor. Specifically, when working with the Akadawa, it is the alchemy of the genitals and the heart. It is the alchemy of the womb and the heart, you could put it that way. It is so pleasure and comfort, and the negative aspect would be guilt and getting rid of that, feeling bad about feeling pleasure. We shouldn't feel bad about feeling pleasure. And sexual union, which is not so serious as sex. It's just the energy within our own bodies that brings something else to it and is comfortable with, gets to know things, and then something new can be created. So when we experience guilt, we're rejecting that experience because now it was bad, and then those feelings of guilt or whatever can come in between. So when we're working with this, the second chakra in general, you might start to feel some really interesting emotional experiences. That chakra, we're going to, again, it corresponds roughly to the lunar variety of the Akadawa. So we're going to use the lunar variety and really focus it in that, have a full experience and healing experience with just that chakra. And then we're going to come up here and do the solar variety, which is the heart space, and more, expansive and putting ourselves out there. Again, it also has to do with union and bringing things together, but it's on a less subtle level. So the sex chakra and lunar energy of the Akadawa is going to have to do with, obviously, the more yin aspect of things, or the more feminine, the more behind the scenes kind of energy that pulls things magnetically together. Whereas this is much more the yang stuff, which is the embrace, the moving out to meet other things and saying, no, 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 we can all merge, come this way, and that's what the heart is all about. It's very, leonine. Anyway, so that'll be the next one. Please let me know if this made sense, and if you have any, if you're like, well, that wasn't enough or something. We're going to work more with the varieties in turn, however, especially in the next video, but I just wanted to give you a general framework for using this stuff. There's a lot of information that I covered. To me, it feels like I'm just repeating things because I have talked about this stuff before. So let me know if you need more meat in this video, and I will not give you any meat because I'm a vegan now. Okay, bye.